Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and the Washington Commanders stood pat and made no trades at the trade deadline. Adam Peters was asleep, so let's talk about it in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well, so you never miss a video. And yeah, the Commanders, amidst a huge trade deadline day around the NFL, made zero moves, whether that's trading for players, which they shouldn't have done, which, good thing they didn't, or trading away players, which they should have done and they didn't do. And yes, I know some of the Adam Peters defenders, and again, I'm not out on Adam Peters, but I'm just, I don't like the execution today. But I know some people are going to be like, we didn't have players to sell and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure there were some players that we could have gotten value for. Deebo Samuel, one of them, for sure. And, some other guys, older guys that maybe could have moved. Apparently, Jordan Schultz at least tweeted out a few days ago, maybe a couple days ago, that Andrew Wiley and Nick Allegretti were garnering some interest. I don't know about Allegretti, but Wiley, I believe maybe, they could have gotten something for him. And if they could have gotten anything for him and they decided to keep him, for me, it makes no sense. I mean, he's a free agent and he's going to be gone after this year. And you're probably not going to get a comp pick for him because, the Commanders hopefully will be decent spenders this year in free agency, and that'll kind of cancel out the comp picks. I'm not saying that they should build through free agency, but I think they do need to be a little bit more aggressive in free agency this year and go after younger players, especially since, guess what? They have 5 picks in the draft this year. 5 picks. This roster sucks, and they have 5 picks in the 2026 NFL draft. They did not add any, I think they have 6 picks in the 2026 NFL draft, I believe, but they're not, high picks at all. So, they're not in a good position. And, the only way they can get these picks at this point is trading back in the first round, trading from wherever let's say they get around, like, my guess is like the 7th pick, right? Maybe the 6th pick. They trade back to like the 12th, 13th pick, get some more assets, get some like 2nd and 3rd round picks, and that's how you rebuild. But I just really don't like what they did today. There was some interest from the Bills on and Deebo Samuel. I mean, in that case, Von Miller isn't doing anything for you. This season, yeah, he might play just because there's no edge rushers, but you can sign someone from the streets and just play him instead of Von Miller and get a 7th round pick, or even if it's a pick swap. I'd much rather do that than have him on the roster, him leaving free agency or retire after this year and you get nothing. And, same thing with Deebo. He's a free agent after this year. He's, not getting any younger. He's still injury prone. I mean, you could have gotten a 5th round pick for him, in my opinion, and I definitely would have done that. A 5th round pick, it's not like it's a great draft selection, but a 5th round pick, you can find studs in the 5th round. And for me, not trading Deebo was a failure today. I understand I saw people saying trading Laramie Tunsil. I wasn't for that. Or trading, Deron Payne, which at this point with how bad they've been, I wouldn't have hated it, but that's not something that I wanted the Commanders to do. I saw Terry McLaurin, people wanting to trade him, which I also don't think smart considering how low his value is, and then Brandon Coleman heard that as well. But, I would have definitely try to move on from a lot of these guys that you could have. If you could have gotten anything for Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, I feel like, I don't know, Bobby Wagner, no. I think Zach Ertz, though, is still producing somewhat in this league where you could have gotten a pick swap for him. Again, I do want to preface all this by saying I have no idea what was going on behind closed doors. I don't know what teams were valuing these players at, if they were even calling the Commanders on some of these players. So, I do want to say that first because, again, we don't know. Maybe no one was interested in any of these players. I doubt that, but that is a possibility. But I still, I doubt that. And I think the Commanders could have gotten some, draft capital for some of these guys and just lessen the blow a little bit of how little draft capital they have this year. And it is what it is. Adam Peters, he had a really solid first off season. The second off season was absolutely abysmal, and this third off season is make or break for him. I mean, he has to have a good off season, or else, what has he really done? Because Jaden, let's keep it real, he was handpicked not hand picked. He was spoon fed the second overall pick. He had the option between Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Either way, it would have worked out really, really well for them. I'm happy he drafted Jaden, but that's not like it was a great pick by him. It was just given to him. A great pick is finding an All-Pro or a Pro Bowl player in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, which so far it's been 2 years, so and it's still super early on this draft class, but he hasn't, and he's whiffed on some picks. So this third year is going to be big for sure, and I really need to see Adam Peters do a lot better, and he needs to get younger players in the building because it's full of old heads right now, and that's part of the reason the Commanders are like the most injured team in a long time. But real quick, a word from today's sponsor. And a huge shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys check them out. You can win real money making picks on the Sleeper app. You can also play fantasy football and other sports. Get the latest sports news on there as well. There's a bunch of different sporting events going on. NBA, you got NHL, and obviously the NFL. I will have some picks for the Commanders game against the Lions starting tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys check them out. Use promo code Pedro on Sleeper. Get a 100% match up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. Link in the description. All right, and a huge shout out to Sleeper, but let's talk about this. And I know, again, there's going to be people defending Peters and saying, these players weren't worth trading away, like in terms of people not wanting to bite and make a move because, we don't have a lot of good players. And that's fair, but guess what? Guess who constructed this roster? Adam Peters. And yes, he inherited a really bad roster, but he's had time to make moves. Maybe not completely, change everything, but you've had 2 full off seasons to make moves. And the first off season in free agency, he did really well. Like, I was really happy with a lot of his moves, with bringing in some veterans that you needed to have, like Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz, who did really well last year, and Ertz has still been okay this year. I don't mind them re-signing him. It wasn't an awful move. And definitely next season though, they need to go younger at the position. We'll see what Ben Sinnott does. I want him to get more snaps over the rest of the year. But he brought in Frankie Louvu, brought in a lot of good veterans. But this offseason, it was a complete opposite. Just went to get a bunch of older guys and let some younger guys go that we wanted to keep, or some people wanted to keep, like Diami. I was fine with letting Diami go. I really wanted Zacchaeus back though, Olamide Zacchaeus, and they moved on from him and then just got a bunch of older guys on the defense and waited until like July or August to sign an edge rusher, and that was Von Miller. And I mean, Dietrich Wise, sure, but like at that point, like it was too late, man. And there was some good edge rushers available. You saw what Josh Sweat did yesterday. I didn't watch the game, but heard he did really well. And this season, and just other guys in general. So you can still be successful in free agency, and the Commanders have not done that. And they have made a lot of moves in the trade market over the last couple years, trading Jahan, trading for Marshawn, for Laremy Tunsil, for Debo, and then trading Brian Robinson. So it's not like they haven't been active. So I'll give Adam Peters props for that, but he's got to execute better on some of these moves, especially in free agency. The draft hasn't been too hot either. Like, it's time to start talking about the 2024 draft class and how we have one hit in that class, and that's Jaden Daniels. Mike Sanders still good rookie year. He's been bad this year. The interceptions have been there. That's cool, which is important. But he's been getting cooked. We saw he had an interception on Sunday. He also got cooked for a long touchdown. Johnny Newton has not done much. I like what he's done when he's played, but he hasn't played a lot. And, maybe that shows that he hasn't been, playing as well as maybe I thought. Ben Sinnott has done absolutely nothing. Still give him some time. And then also, after that, Brandon Coleman, I think, still a solid pick, but they've had him inactive on game days for most of the season. Luke McCaffrey's okay. For a late third-round pick, maybe you expect a little bit better, but he's shown some things this year, and solid returner. Fifth-round pick, Jordan McGee has been fine, but, that's really it. Jean-Baptiste is good. The later picks have been okay, but that draft class has not been good, man. And still got time. And I know I'm being pretty negative. I'm just a little upset with the non-moves today, and maybe there was nothing to be had. I still think though anything you could have gotten for some of these guys is better than the alternative of them just leaving in free agency, and you're not going to get a comp pick. If you did get a comp pick, you're getting one like a 7th round pick in 2027, which at that point you might as well just get that draft capital at this next season. But that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, you guys new. Peace.